G'day, welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Let's see who is in my green room this evening. She is simply one of the biggest singers in the world. She's won an Oscar. She's won 5 Grammys. She's sold well over 200 million albums. She is the fantastic Celine Dion, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Celine. The gorgeous Celine Dion. What a talent, ladies and gentlemen. OK. On the show as well tonight, he is our very own Wimbledon champion, ladies and gentlemen. It's Andy Murray. There he is. Hey, Andy. How are you? Looking good? He's looking good. Also on the show tonight, one of my favourite stand-up comedians. He's a writer, he's an actor. The brilliant Johnny Vegas is in the room. Evening, Johnny. And also on the show, perhaps the most versatile entertainer on television. He sings, he dances, he acts, he judges, he's a quiz show host. There's nothing he won't do. Sorry, nothing he can't do. Mr. John Barrowman, ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Who doesn't love a bit of Barrowman in their life? I love John Barrowman. And to cap off the evening, great music for you, one of the original and best boy bands of all time, celebrating 20 years in the business with a fabulous new song. It's Boyzone. Four hunks of male handsomeness right there. Now, did you see the picture this week of the world's most revealing red carpet dress? It's on the papers in the internet. Here it is. This is Jamie Alexander. She's a young actress. She was on the red carpet for the new Thor film, flashing the flesh. Look at that. I've seen less revealing X-rays than that dress. Andy, do you think that's a sexy look? Okay. Oh, I know why. It's because Kim's with you. Yeah, you don't even want to answer that question. OK, yeah, you're not going to... OK, fine. OK, that's fine. That's fine, I won't ask you that. I think we should strike a blow for equality, because women get pressurised into wearing that kind of thing all the time. There's a hashtag on Twitter, #everydaysexism. OK, there shouldn't be a social context, so we're going to put that right. We've come up with a few designs for the men this evening. See what you think of this outfit. OK, we shouldn't forget the more conventionally built gentleman. Here's Johnny Vegas in his version. What do you think of this?
I wore something like that for my graduation. I bought a shirt in a box and I didn't bother trying it on before the day, so I had to rip it up the back to make it fit. Just tucked in at the sides.
Well, we'll have more of that later on, but now let's get my first guest out. She's one of the true giants of music, one of the most powerful and unique voices in the business. Before she comes out here, let's just remind ourselves of what she does best of all. Welcome the fabulous Celine Dion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. The lovely Celine Dion. Come and take a seat, Celine. There you go. Wow. Well, you have a handful of fans in this evening. Now that clip, that was you performing in Vegas recently.
Correct.
Okay. And that's a theatre they've built for you there.
Yes, correct. They built it's called the Coliseum. It's at the Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. I did perform 5 years of that show that was called The New Day. Then I went on a world tour for a year and a half. Then I took a little break. I had 2 babies. And then I've been with a new show back to the Coliseum for 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. You have to come.
Well, I would love to come.
You have to come. I know it's a long trip for you, but
well, you can afford to fly me out there, so I will come.
Anytime. I'm leaving in about 3 days, so you have to come. I have a place for you.
So you live in Vegas?
Actually, I split my time between Las Vegas and Florida.
OK, so you have a place... I read you were selling your place in Florida.
We're selling it because we're not spending enough time over there. It's such a beautiful mansion.
Well, we have a photograph from the air. We haven't snooped in and taken photographs.
You're the one who's been flying above my house.
Yeah. Well, look, that's quite some house. You know what I love about it is you have your own water park.
Yes.
Well, you say yes like it's a matter-of-fact thing, like, yeah.
Well...
You know, it's like I would say to someone, well, you've got an Arga. They would go, yes. You have a water park.
Why not? Some people do drugs and go out every weekend. I build a water park.
Wow, OK. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good... I think that's about the best answer I've ever had. So you have, in the water park, you have a lazy river?
There's a lazy river.
I love a lazy river.
It's one of... You want a house? It's for sale.
How much is it on the market for?
Well, I can make a deal too.
I don't think you can make quite the deal I would need you to make. So you live in Vegas now, or most of the year?
Most of the year. I would say 6 months a year, for sure.
When we go to Vegas, most of us go to Vegas, it's a wonderful vacation destination these days. It's a fantastic place to have a holiday. There's a lot to do for the whole family, but of course it's famous for its gambling. Are you tempted? Do you gambling? Do you have any tips?
I want something for my money. I'm a shopper, I'm not a gambler.
Shopper, not a gambler. And you have a son? How old your boy?
I have 3 beautiful sons. I have a 12-year-old, soon to be 13, so we are entering this specific zone. And no, he's great. And we have twins. They're just turned 3 years old.
So they're babies, but the 12, 13-year-old, do you have to make sure he doesn't run off and try and play the slots, try and play poker? Do you have to keep an eye on him?
No, I don't. It's my 4th one that I have to keep an eye on.
Really?
My husband. Oh. No, actually...
He's a good poker player, your husband, though. I've heard that he plays
He's an amazing poker game. Yeah, he is.
You've been with your husband, is it 26 years?
I've been working with him for more than 30 years, but we've been married for 19.
Wow, that's pretty good. And like, 19 years is incredible. Incredible. And
it is a miracle, actually, I consider. Being in the show business in this jungle world, it's a crazy, crazy life for more than 30 years, and to be married for 19 years, this is something that I'm very proud of.
Well, especially with him being your manager as well, because, you know, traditionally working together as well as living together, that must be is it stressful ever, or is there a way you can leave the work behind when you're at home?
Well, actually, I think we found a perfect solution for our lives. In the business, he's the boss, you know. I leave the business to those people who know best, and he knows best, and I try to concentrate on the songs that I need to sing and do the best I can. But in the house, I wear the pants and I decide everything.
Good. That's a good deal.
That's right, it's a deal.
That's a good balance of power.
It's all about balance, communication and balance.
And you always agree with his decision, or has he ever made you sing somewhere, or asked you to sing somewhere, or set up a deal that you weren't happy with afterwards? How would you deal with that situation?
Let me tell you something. You're going to think it's a joke, and it's a truth. I didn't want to sing My Heart Will Go On.
Oh. Wow.
Thank God they didn't listen to me.
So why didn't you want to sing it? Why didn't you want to sing it?
I didn't really like the song at first. I wasn't sure. I did another song for a movie before. It was very successful, and I thought we were pushing our luck. And I said, why do we need to do this? Yeah. Let's not push it. We're cruising. It's doing well. And he said, OK. He said, let's just do a demo, and let's give it a try, and then we'll see after. The demo is actually the real recording. I never sang the song again, except 3 million times after that, live. Yeah.
Do you ever get, I mean, not sick of it, but do you get tired of it? Because obviously people come to see you, they want to hear you sing it. It's almost an unspoken contract you have. You kind of have to do it, don't you?
I'm going to die with this song. And honestly, it's a good problem to have, truly. Prior to the performance, a lot of times I would say, oh, gosh, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. And then the curtain opens, and I look at the people's face, and they're like, oh. And they make it happen.
You got to do it. And I guess you get caught up in it as well, do you?
I get caught up, and I'm like, oh my God, she traveled so far, and she's tearing. I'm going to sing it just for her. So, you know.
Did you? Are there songs you turned down?
But when I die, please don't play the song.
Well, you know, it's very popular when people are saying goodbye to loved ones. You know that, do you?
No, I know.
Oh, no. First time I saw you sing, first time I think many of us would have seen you sing in this country was when you came over to perform at the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yes, that was in 1988.
That's right, 1988.
It's quite a long time ago.
And it was in Ireland that year.
Yes.
We have a clip of you singing that. You won, of course.
You
were the
not.
favourite. You won. You look kind of different.
Do you want to elaborate on that, or just show the clip?
No, we'll just show the clip. I'm not saying it looks better or worse. I'm just saying everyone looks different that long ago.
Oh, thanks, honey.
OK, this is Celine when she won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988. You were just a kid, though. How old were you then? 19, I think, 18, 19?
Yeah, close to that.
Do you remember much of the trip itself?
I do remember that, first of all, it was a very strange adventure for me. First of all, I received a call, and I was in Montreal, where I live, and they want me to go to Ireland, and they want me to represent Switzerland as a French-Canadian Québécoise for the song contest. I didn't get it. So I'm like, but what about people in Switzerland? What are they going to think? Where's she coming from? We don't even know her.
Yeah.
But what I did is that I went there, and I felt like a horse. And let me elaborate on that.
Please do.
You can bet on the artist that you want the country to win. So my husband, who's a gambler, bet on me. A lot of money.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was a horse and I needed to race. Wow. I really needed to win that race. Did you see me?
Yeah.
That was like this. I looked like a horse and I felt like a horse.
Well, that's the secret.
But Switzerland, we won.
You won.
So they loved me after.
Well, of course.
Gave me a lot of chocolates.
Hey, the exciting news for fans of Celine Dion and new fans, and I hope there'll be many after tonight, is that you have a brand new album out. There's a brand new album. I've been listening to upstairs. It's great. It sounds to me like you're doing something slightly different. You're singing in a slightly different style. Would that be right?
The real difference is, and it's something that I learned, they really want me to kind of let go and get close to the microphone and really have this raspiness going. For example, if I may, instead of saying, I'm tired of this empty house, I need a drink to get me out. They really wanted me to say, I need a drink to get me out. A couple more till I forget your name. You know that.
When you do it live, will you be doing it? I mean, I guess you'll have to sing it the way it is on the record live, and then you'll have to switch style to go back to the older songs. Well, the good thing is that I have both combination of what I've done for 30 years and my new repertoire. And I feel like my garden is beyond tomatoes and roses. I think it's growing with different vegetables and fruits. So I think it has a panoply of different things. Wow, what a beautiful way of putting it. So it's not just
tomatoes.
It's
just how do you see it.
There's also a plum, a kumquat, maybe a banana.
Isn't that amazing?
Melons.
Hot bananas, squash bananas, squash bananas.
So, we have a clip. The album's called Love Me Back to Life. This is Celine performing Love Me Back to Life in that slightly raspier style we've just been demonstrating. Look at this.
You love me back to life.
That's got hit written all over it. Celine is not performing for us this evening. I'll ask her to come back. You must come back and sing for us live one day if you can, because she's saving her voice for the X Factor as well. She'll be performing tomorrow night in the X Factor. But could we have a little burst of something here? Could you do a little something while we're sitting on the couch? Just a little bit of... You do agadoo. I don't know if you know agadoo or... the bird...
Agadoo, do. Who's that in the cafe?
No, hang on.
You said agadoo.
Yeah, but what was that weird bit in the middle?
Didn't you say sing agadoo?
Yeah, but come on, English, please.
I don't know it in English.
OK, well, let's have something else, something powerful. Should we do a duet?
Let's go.
I need to warm up my voice first.
You know how to warm up your voice?
Of course not. I'm not a singer.
Try this.
Still going?
Yeah. My voice will go on and on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Celine Dion! Thank you so much. Oh, fabulous. Thank you. C'est formidable. Celine Dion, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away, because still to come after the break, music from Boyzone, John Vegas, and Wimbledon champion Andy Murray will be sitting right there, so don't go anywhere. Great with Celine Dion. I feel like I've been Dionised. OK, it's time for my next guest. I'm thrilled he's here. It was one of the highlights of the summer when he won the Wimbledon title. The first British player to win for 77 years. Let's remind ourselves of that incredible moment.
He won Olympic gold with an ace. How about one more here?
Any point will do.
The waiting is over.
6-4, 7-5, 6-4.
Andy Murray is the Wimbledon champion. And you simply cannot give more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andy Murray.
Thank you.
That was an exciting moment for all of us. I imagine it was quite a nice moment for you as well.
It was.
Talk us through what was going on just before that win, because, you know, in tennis, the incredible thing about that game is it can still go either way.
Well, yeah, so I was up 40-love, basically, in the last game, so I had 3 match points, and then I lost them, and then he had...
Well, slow down a bit. So you're 40-love, so you're thinking, OK, I've got to finish it with one of these 3 points.
At 40-love, when you're serving, you're thinking 100% it's over. So in my head at 40-love, I was like, oh, my God, I'm about to win Wimbledon.
So you're already celebrating inside?
Yeah. And then basically 3-4 points later...
Well, let's go through each one. So you lose... so 40-love, then it's 40-15. And you're thinking, OK, but you're still thinking, I've got it.
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah. You're still fine there, but then...
So you serve again.
Yeah, he hit a winning return.
Great return.
Yeah.
So now it's 40-30, so you're still thinking, OK.
I wasn't really thinking that then. When it got to 40-30, I wasn't... I was pretty nervous, yeah.
And then...
Well, then when it gets back to deuce, the problem is that I'm now 2 points away from winning, not 1.
2 in a row as well.
Yeah, and I'm allowed to swear.
Please do.
Yeah, I was shitting myself.
And was there a time when you thought... I always thought you would win. I knew you'd win a Grand Slam. I always thought you would probably win Wimbledon. But, of course, there was a chance that you might not. Because those are the breaks sometimes in sport played at that level. Was there doubt in your mind that you would actually get Wimbledon?
Yeah, I mean, after Wimbledon last year, then I thought there was a good chance I may never win a Grand Slam. In some ways, it was actually good for me to actually accept that, because then I was able to deal with it a bit better, and I kind of relieved some of the pressure on myself, because for years I was thinking, like, it's going to happen, I'll do anything it takes to try and make it happen. But then when it actually got into my head that actually this might not happen, I actually started to play better. It took a bit of pressure off myself.
So you almost made peace with the level of expectation?
Yeah. It had been so long since a British man had won a Grand Slam. It had been, whatever it was, 70-odd years, that I actually came to terms with the fact that I may not do it. And once I did that, I actually started to play better. The
year before, when you lost to Federer, you were clearly choked up, but I get the feeling that you're not particularly comfortable in showing your emotions publicly. Would I be right? I mean, it's not something I'm not going to try and make you cry now. Don't worry. This isn't a cruel game.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not. The thing is, as an athlete, especially in an individual sport, you actually, for years, you're trying not to show emotion on the court. That's something that you're almost taught to do, is to not show emotion.
Well, because you don't want to give the other player you don't want to show them what's going on, do you? You don't want to show them if you're in turmoil.
But if you went and watched a video of me playing my very first Wimbledon, I was jumping around like so happy every time I won a point, so excited that I was tired after like 20 minutes. And I needed to change, I needed to change that. I needed to become a little bit more sort of, I don't know, level-headed.
OK. Andy Murray has a book out. Now, some of the stuff we've discussed in this conversation is in the book. It's brilliantly written. It covers all that stuff really in great depth. It's called Andy Murray, 77. It's fabulous, and you really go into detail, I mean, about the ins and outs of what's going on in your head during those key moments. And I was amazed at the stress that you're feeling, because at one stage you talk about how your legs started to go.
Yeah, when I get like, everyone gets nervous in different ways, I think. For me, when I get nervous, I feel it in my legs a lot. But then it was the very first time when I actually looked down at my arm, and my arm was shaking. Wow. And I'd never had that before.
During a match, the arm was shaking?
Well, that was when I went back to juice in the last game.
Wow.
And that was when I realised that this could get ugly quickly.
So you thought that you might lose it?
Yeah.
Your family are there watching you most of the time. We've seen your mum, Judy, is almost every match, and she was very much instrumental in keeping you in the game, in coaching you when you were young, and in supporting you and your brother in that. You don't, I've noticed, and I guess this is a little bit, you don't look at them during the match too much, do you?
I try not to, no.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I watched the last game of Wimbledon, actually, a couple of days after Wimbledon, and my mum's reactions after the points aren't particularly helpful. Like, I'd lose a match point, she was like, stand up, like, rigid, but like, she's like saying, it's okay, and I'm looking at her face thinking, I can tell in your face you're thinking it's not okay.
So she's trying to do what the mum should do.
Yeah.
She's trying to do what someone in your corner should do, but at the same time, she'd be a terrible poker player, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you about the aspect of being famous that maybe you're not as comfortable with. Obviously, there's great fascination, great interest in your private life, in your personal life, that kind of thing. You don't talk about that much. What are the most annoying? What's the kind of question you dread getting?
When are you going to get married? Being asked that one. It was like after Wimbledon, it was like, so when are you going to get married? Like, just because you won Wimbledon, like, now you should get married? Like, the two were somehow connected in any way. I didn't...
But if not now, when? I mean, it's like, that'll make it quite a big, memorable year for you, and you're never going to forget the anniversary if you did it in the same year. When did we get married? Oh, yeah, the year I won Wimbledon! Let me ask you about drugs, Andy.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't take any.
Well, let's talk about this, because I know you look up to me.
Yeah. I've seen him on the tennis court.
Both as a man and as a tennis player. I was drunk when I played tennis with you last time.
And that was your excuse, wasn't it, for the level of play?
You should try it. It loosens you up. It's a good feeling. No, drugs. They have the random drug testing in tennis, so they do every sport. Now, am I right in thinking that you got drug tested on quite an important morning?
It was a couple of weeks ago, yeah. I was going to Buckingham Palace to receive an OBE. And, yeah, just literally as I was about to... Yeah, the car had already arrived to take us there, and the drug testers turned up. So then, yeah, basically, there's lots of rules with the drug test now. Like, you give blood, but you have to sit for, like, 15, 20 minutes before you can give the blood, so that, for whatever reason.
So what do they... Did they think probably, OK, he's going to get the OBE, he's going to have had doobie the night before that? Andy Murray, OBE. Give me a pizza. There you go, Judy. You know, do you think... Is that what they thought was happening?
Yeah... To be honest, I don't know. They say that those are random tests, but...
That sounds too specific a morning to be coming on.
Exactly.
When you got the OBE, this is another first, this was the first time, I believe, that Prince William had been in charge of that investiture. He had given you the OBE. And William is about the same age as you.
Is he?
I think so, isn't he? How old is he?
I'm 26. I think he's a bit older than that, but...
Wow, well, if you want to have a dig at William, go ahead. Trust me, you want to get that knighthood, you better stay on his right side. So, OK, he said, you know, but, you know, look, I'm 52. To me, you're both 50, kids, you're the same age.
So you're double my age.
Oh, off. It's not a maths test. You know? All right, you can add up. OK, I'm double your age. So, but you're kind of in the same region. You're both under 30. He's started a young family. He's married, by the way. Did you chat about tennis? What did he say?
I just had back surgery, so he asked me how that had gone.
Wow, that's a bit dull.
I mean, there's a lot of people there. He just asked me how was the back surgery, and I said it went well.
I'm not asking what he said to them, I'm asking what he said to you. Is that all he said?
Well, he said that, and then he asked me how it had been, how everything had been since Wimbledon.
This is it. Open up. This is what I want. Yes.
Yeah, and that was the gist of the 1 minute conversations. I did say to him, because after Wimbledon, his wife wrote a letter to me, and she has unbelievable handwriting.
What,
and
bad? Really bad? Like
no,
a doctor?
amazing.
Oh,
amazing handwriting.
Beautiful.
And he writes like a boy. And I did mention that.
Hold it. So you're telling. Yeah. So you said to him, as though nothing has happened. You're treating like this. So he says to you, "How's the back?" And you go, "By the way, your handwriting is shit compared to that."
Pretty much.
What did the letter say from the lovely Kate? How's your back? Yeah, I know.
It just said, "Well done on Wimbledon."
What was actually wrong with the back?
There's a lot of stuff going on there, basically, but I had to have some bone shaved off the back.
Some what shaved off the back?
Bone.
Oh, some bone.
What did you think I said?
Well, I don't know, but that sounds like a lot of work to be done here. Bone
no, it's
shaved.
very minor. It's very minor, like very small amount of bone.
It's a small amount of bone.
Small amount of bone, but it makes a big difference.
Where was the bone gone? Did you save the bond?
I didn't.
You could get money for that bond on eBay.
Is that what I was saying?
Yes, you were saying bond. No wonder I didn't know what you're talking about.
Bond.
What's the future hold for you? You're playing tennis, obviously, but do you have your sights set on anything in particular, or what's your sort of brain space at the moment?
The first big tournament next year is in January, which is the Australian Open. I've lost in the final 3 times there, so that would be the next sort of immediate goal, but I need to get healthy with my back first.
And then the other one you haven't won, of course, is the French Open. And that's a tricky one because on clay, it's a very, very different game.
Yeah, and I'm not very good on clay, well, unfortunately.
You're not bad, but, I mean, you're not... I mean, you know, while Nadal's still on, we need to nobble Nadal, don't we? Because he's the clay meister.
Yeah, I think he's won 8 French Opens now.
Is it true that he pranks you sometimes?
He did prank me once in New York a couple of years ago. Do you want to hear the story?
No, we don't want to hear the story. Of course we want to hear the story. You were pranked by Nadal. Who else can say that?
No, basically I was sitting at dinner with my girlfriend and during the meal, which I probably shouldn't have done anyway because it's rude, I was checking my phone. And anyway, so checking my phone and I looked at one of the messages and it was from a number I didn't recognise and it said like something like, "Oh my God, Andy, you look so sexy tonight." And I was like, it's a shame you're here with your girlfriend. So obviously didn't tell my girlfriend at first. I was like, I didn't want to ruin the meal, so I put it back in my pocket. And
do you want to ruin the meal? I wanted a chance to call that number back.
and then on the way, basically, it clicked who it was on the way back from the meal. But he'd obviously the whole time been watching me from a distance, looking at this message, seeing my face, and also just not telling anyone.
Have you managed to prank him back yet?
No, okay. But it'll happen, but I'm just waiting for the right.
Before you go, I'm afraid I've been asked, would you wee into this bottle? There's a test that they need to do immediately. I'm afraid it has to be done in front of the audience to check there's nothing...
I don't know if it will fit in the top, though.
It won't fit in the top, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Here we go. Let's see what this is. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in saying thank you and congratulating our Wimbledon winner, Mr. Andy Murray? OK, don't go away after the break. We have all-round entertainer John Bowerman out here, comedian Johnny Vegas and the great Boyzone will be playing live, so see you in a couple of minutes. Let's get my next guest right out here. I think I should apologise in advance for what's about to happen. He can sing, he can dance. In Torchwood, he pulled off a French kiss with an alien. Will you please welcome the always fabulous, the always unpredictable Mr. John Bowerman. There's a good-looking hunk of a man. Well, John, you look better every time I see you. Doesn't he look splendid this evening, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that jacket. Looking like showbiz personified.
Thank you for getting up. They stood up.
Well, they're excited to see you.
That's nice.
Hey, so congratulations, though, in order, I know, because not everyone might know this, but you got married.
I did.
You're a married man.
I did, yes.
In July of this year, was it this year?
It was July of this year, and Scott and I had just woken up in the morning. My sister had texted very early, and it said, they've repealed the law. It's legal. And
where were you? In California?
We have a house in Palm Springs, and we were in Palm Springs. Scott, normally waking up, Scott's like that. But I said, honey, they've repealed it. And he went, what? And we sat up, and both of us kissed right there and then. And I took a picture of it, and, you know, because it's a big deal to us. It really, really is. And so I took a picture, and I tweeted it out there, and I said, finally, we are now legal, and we can be legal. And that's an amazing thing.
A really lovely moment for you.
And then we had an argument. And because he said, so are you going to propose to me? And I went, what do you mean propose to you? You're going to propose to me. He said, I proposed to you last time. I went, no, you didn't. Shut up. Put some pants on. We're going to get married now. And that was it. And we went. But we've been together for, 20 years.
Wow.
So it was about time. And it meant it was one of the best days of my life because I was finally saying to everybody that we are now the same.
Wow, what a wonderful story, and it is it was long overdue, of course, in that part of the world. It's crazy. No, you know what I love about you is you can act, you can sing brilliantly, you're a brilliant musical performer, but you're also back here. You're going to be doing pantomime again.
Correct.
And what I love about you is show business is show business.
Yes,
and
it is.
You see it all as being this kind of thing that you want to do.
Whether it's writing a book, whether it's being in pantomime, whether it's singing or making an album, it's all part of the entertainment business.
You've had a couple of accidents, wasn't Jeanette Cranky injured by the giant beanstalk? It's horrible, but when someone fell from the giant beanstalk,
she almost died.
It doesn't seem like a real thing.
There is a curse, they say, with Jack and the Beanstalk.
What?
Okay? And so this last year, I had to ride a horse. I came on a horse. And the horse, I knew something was wrong, and I've ridden horses, seriously, ridden horses before.
So this is not a pantomime horse, this is an actual living,
No, it's not a pantomime horse, it's a real horse.
Well, forgive me for thinking that in a pantomime it might be a pantomime horse, that's where they live.
It's an actual, proper, real horse. So I come on the horse, and I feel it kind of jittery underneath me, and then all of a sudden I start doing this, and then next thing I know, whoom, I'm up in the air, I'm 20 feet in the air, and I'm thinking, shit. I don't have a harness on. And then I land.
Wow.
I have to show you. I land 20 feet in the air, and I hear crack. True performer. I get up and I go, hey! Everything's okay. I kept doing the show. I did the number, sang, and as soon as the number was done, I'm lying next to the horse, and my hands start shaking, and my legs start shaking, and I feel pain just go through my back and my legs.
So the adrenaline has kicked in a bit.
Yeah, so the adrenaline kept the performance going, but then they pulled me off in a stretcher, and which was what is hysterical. I'm lying backstage on the ground going, oh, I just want my mum. I want my mum. And my cousin's son, who's my understudy, steps over me and goes, right, John, you okay? I'm off, I'm on. Where's the costume?
Well, there's always a silver lining for someone.
There's a silver lining for someone.
And that's the great thing about showbiz. Hey, John's back and you're doing a quiz show, which I've never seen you do before. I know you've done elements of that sort of thing on your Saturday night show. There's a new show, it's called Pressure Pad. It's on weekdays, BBC One at 3 p.m. It's a different kind of quiz show. Tell us what it is. We'll have a look in the clip and tell us how it works.
Well, it's two teams of 5 people competing against each other, and I'm the quiz master, and also part of the character in the game is the pressure pad.
So this is the pad they stand on. So it's kind of a rip-off of the cube.
Without a cube. When you are watching the game, when I was doing it, I kept saying to the producers, is it really that? Are they going to feel pressure? But now that I watch it on television, I'm watching it and thinking, oh my God. And people actually lose it. The simplest of questions, and they can't answer them. It's kind of like Trivial Pursuit, but on the pressure pad, and everything that happens is in that circle.
You say pressure pad a lot.
Because I'm supposed to.
I know, but you say it a lot.
I know, because it's getting the brand in.
So they've asked you to say it a lot.
Of course, it's scripted.
So we have a little montage of you. This is only from one episode. This is
Oh,
from the
come
first.
on!
This is from the first episode of what's it called again?
Pressure Pad.
Of course. Have a look at
This is pressure pad. 6 possible answers are hidden under the center of the pressure pad. Good luck on the pressure pad. Pressure pad, pressure pad. Is it right or wrong? Pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad. Mike, you stood the pressure of the pressure pad. Why it's called pressure pad? Pressure pad. The pressure pad, pressure pad. Come and join me on the pressure pad. Pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad. That's what happens when you play the pressure pad. Pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad. Is it correct? The pressure pad. Pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad, pressure pad. If you can't take the pressure, stay off the pressure pad.
We didn't use any of them twice.
it's like a rap. Pressure pad, get off the pressure pad, pressure pad.
Well, we won't forget the name of the show, that's for sure.
Oh, jeez. Can I have that?
You can have it.
That's really good.
It's on 3 p.m. Pressure pad.
I'm sweating after that.
Well, you felt the pressure at the pad.
I did.
It's on weekdays, 3 p.m. Mr. John Barrowman! Brilliant. Don't go away. Coming up, we've got music from Boyzone. Before that, I'll be talking to Johnny Vegas. See you after the break. Welcome back. Shall we get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen? I think you know what you've got coming. He's a true force of nature. Please welcome the fabulous Johnny Vegas!
Do you hear that then under his breath? They always say it like they're angry. PG-6.
Well, is that because you've done the adverts? Is that what you get?
Yeah, like I'm in some kind of denial.
OK, hey, this is exciting. This is the time of year when a lot of people bring books out. Johnny's got a book out. It's very, very different to the kind of book that normally a comedian or a TV person would write. Tell us about the idea behind this, because it is quite unique, I think.
It's becoming Johnny Vegas, but it's going back to me as Michael Pennington and plotting where Johnny came from.
So Johnny is, for you, Johnny Vegas, the comic persona we know, it does feel like a different person.
Well, it always felt like a different person. It always felt like there was a line in the sand. It was me, I'd put the flares on, I had the Celine Dion. But yeah, look at that.
See, when I first saw photographs, I didn't know that was a perm. I thought that was what your hair was unfortunately like, but...
It's technically not a perm, it's a demi-wave. Only people in the business would know.
So why did you have that done?
I had it done because this guy who lived in my head went, we should have a perm. We really should go out and get something. If women aren't going to look at us, we should have a reason for women not to look at us. And the best reason for women not to look at you is to have a perm. If you're not a footballer from the 1970s.
But here's the thing. I think if a lot of people had The Voice in their head or something like that, they would try and fight against it. They wouldn't embrace it. And yet you chose to follow that path and embrace him. Were you not tempted to try and sort of push it away?
I did, but I had very little to sort of associate with. I went away from a young age. I trained for the priesthood. That was a massive shift in my life. And then when I left there and people are going, he's that priest boy, he's the weirdo. This voice was the only person who seemed to understand me, and it didn't feel strange to have this voice in my head. And it wasn't something... It wasn't telling me to go out and start fires.
No.
You know what I mean? There was nothing bad enough happening. He was just a bloke walking around, sort of going, you know what I'll say to him if I ever get the chance? And then one day, eventually, you pick up a microphone and somebody goes, oh, you fat gay. And he goes, let me tell you what I know about you, what I've been watching and waiting.
So it freed you to unleash the comic kind of force within, or the kind of the observational force within?
Well, he wasn't even a comic force within. He was just that bloke going, I'm sick of you taking crap. He was like a little Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. But he never taught me how to fight.
Perm on, perm off.
Yeah.
The booze as well.
Scrunch! Diffuser!
You know what, I don't think I saw I never saw Johnny Vegas live as Johnny Vegas, the whole show. And it was quite a unique situation. I mean, a lot of the time, early on, you would be completely drunk on stage, wouldn't you?
Not drunkish.
So
drunk to... What extent do you consider drunk?
I don't know. I mean, I think if you can't remember a lot of what you've done the night before, then I would say that's drunk.
That's schoolyard stuff.
Okay.
It's when you wake up and there's blood on your hands and it doesn't smell like yours. There's drinking to an extent where it's almost touching on being a werewolf.
Yeah.
That was Johnny drunk. My drunk was sort of... I love a drink.
And you still like a drink, and you're happy with the amount you drink.
I enjoy drinking now. I don't drink to work now. I've spent the last...
Because I remember having you on shows years and years ago, and you would turn up with a carrier bag of beer, and you'd have a few before you came on stage. Quite a few.
Then you're waiting for the shocked reaction from me.
But it was an unusual thing to encounter, and there weren't many people like that. So when you were doing Johnny Vegas...
But we went through a really weird thing in this country of you were a character. You know, like Hurricane Higgins and people like that, and then suddenly it was get ye to the Priory.
Yeah.
Whereas I grew up in St Helens, where it was like everyone likes a drink, everyone likes a bit of fun. You know what I mean? It's not a case of it being a problem. But then when you reach a level of notoriety, you are then everybody's national champion. And Andy won at Wimbledon, I won at Guinness. Yeah.
And there's lots of stories in the book about your family as well, which I love. Telling about growing up. And there's a photograph you put on Twitter with you and your mum. Was this at a wedding? There you go. Look at this. That's a great picture.
This was last weekend. See, my mum... She got so drunk. We were sat around the table. I love this with my mum and dad. We do. We go out and we have a laugh, and especially at a family wedding. But she sat at the table and she got so hammered, she thought she was taking her glasses off and she took her teeth out. And she couldn't figure out why she couldn't read the menu. She stood there holding her teeth doing that.
Well, you know, it must be very different, though. I was thinking about the way... Because you've got a son. How old is your son now? Is he 10?
He's 10 now.
OK, so you must have a very different childhood than the one you had, I would have thought. Or maybe not.
Huge. I mean, that is the... God, that is really weird. That's the first picture where I took him out to a public do. You know what I mean? I've done everything to sort of keep him away from this notion of your dad's... For want of a worse word, famous. Yeah. It is, I'm your dad as Michael Pennington. And that was a big thing about writing the book is I feel like I'm Michael Pennington now, not Johnny Vegas.
So you reclaimed who you were?
I had to for this. I couldn't attempt to raise him and be Johnny Vegas. I wanted to be the dad that I had. And the dad that he deserved. And the dad he deserved was one that could remember, you know what I mean? Rather than trying to be everything to everyone else, he deserved somebody where he knew that he mattered. And to Johnny, nobody mattered but Johnny. So there was a point of pulling it back and going...
Well, that makes perfect sense. We have one of the greatest singers in the world with us this evening. You do a bit of karaoke, I believe. Is this right?
I do lots of karaoke.
OK, but I hear you do one particular thing, karaoke. You do a thing where you do a duet, but you do both the male and the female parts. You Don't Bring Me Flowers. I've heard you do a very good You Don't Bring Me Flowers, which is one of my favourite songs. I love Streisand. I love Neil Diamond.
Johnny used to do it where he would rip off half his clothes just so you could see the difference between... You know, it's just that classic, you turn, okay, you turn, you use the voice.
Do you want to do a bit of it now? Shall we see a bit of this now? Would you like to see I can draw a moustache on one side if you want.
OK.
Put your back to the crowd. Let me make one side of your face more masculine and the other face will own. Which side do you want to be the man?
You know what? He was always the left.
OK, so your left, this side. So this is the man's
side. I don't know. Okay. But Neil Diamond, do it like jazz singer. You know what he's been on the road for a bit. How much are you drawing on?
Just make it...
Neil Diamond, I'm not...
On this side, just one beauty spot. Boom. OK, now hold on. I've got a microphone for you.
I haven't seen this.
OK, here we go. Now, so there's a microphone for you. I don't know if it's meant to be working. OK, and do we have some music going? Please do, but don't go the full rip half off.
Look, I've got a vest. Hang on.
OK, I'll get the microphone back on for you.
No, I'm going to put that back on.
Oh,
what
okay,
are you doing? Jesus, you've got no idea. Yes. You've got no idea about cross-dressing karaoke, have you?
I'm a noob. OK. All right, here we go.
Jeez, I promise you, this is not going to be worth the wait. This would have been in a couple of minutes. Imagine that's Barbara and she's let herself go a bit. You don't bring me flowers. You don't son, can't talk to me anymore. When you come to the door at the end of the day, I remember when you couldn't wait to love me. You used to hate to leave me. Now I'm loving you. Late at night, I got the wrong side there. Well, it's good for you, babe. When you're feeling all right, well, you just roll over and turn out the lights. You don't bring me flowers. You don't sing love songs. He was a moody bastard when he got in. Hours anymore.
Quite the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we've got time for. Thanks to all my guests tonight. Next week on the show, I'll be joined by one of the hottest boy bands the UK's ever produced. One Direction will be here. The hilarious Sarah Millican and US rap superstar Eminem will be chatting and performing on the show. But now, celebrating 20 years in the music business with a sold-out arena tour, they've had 6 #1 singles. This is going to be another one, I'm pretty sure. Performing Love Will Save the Day, it's Boyzone.
To the broken hearts, to the ones that love, the ones that held the losing heart. Here's to the sweet unknown, to the tales untold, let the night unfold and the stars above. Pass around the bottle and tell me your troubles, and la 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 will save the day. Yeah, pass around the bottle, I'll share your troubles. La 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 la, we'll save the day. We're the undecided, we're the ones who try to find our way. Gonna burn the brightest, gonna watch the night go up in flames. Pass around the bottle and we'll share your troubles. Sing la la la. Save the day. Friends, come and gather around. Throw your hands up high to the silent sky where the answer's found. Let laughter fill the air. Forget your worries, carry on without a care. Pass around the bottle and I'll share your troubles. Sing la 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 la, we'll save the day. We're the undecided, we're the ones who try to find our way. Gonna burn the brightest, gonna watch the night go up in flames. Pass around the bottle and we'll share your troubles. Sing la 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 la, we'll save the day. Pass around the bottle and we'll share our troubles. Sing la 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 la, we'll save the day. Sing la 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 la, we'll save the day.
Boyzone,